For projects 3 and 4, you're going to be using MongoDB to serve a relatively small database. Since we have Lab Broker available, we'll be using MongoDB there, which should already be installed and set up in your environment. So we're going to spend a few minutes getting familiar with this in this video. First of all, log back into your lab environment, which can be accessed from inside the classroom by selecting Content and scrolling down to Virtual Lab Environment. Here we're going to click Virtual Lab Access. If you haven't already set up your lab environment, please see instructions in the class and my previous video, which goes over this process. When you log in, you'll notice an icon for the MongoDB Compass application. This is the main UI we will be using to interact with MongoDB. Let's go ahead and open this. When you open Compass, you'll be greeted by a new connection prompt, which should be pre-populated with a connection string to your MongoDB server. Go ahead and click Connect. On the left, you'll notice there are already several databases set up by default, including admin, config, and local. Your own setup may vary slightly from this. Projects 3 and 4 require the use of a resources list. In order to use this, we're going to create a new CMST 488 database and resources collection by clicking the plus icon next to databases. Next, we want to import our resources JSON file, which includes the data for this collection. This can be found in the Project 3 start files, which you should have downloaded earlier. If you haven't done this, you can find the link in the Project 3 project description in the classroom. In my case, I've already downloaded the starter files in my documents area. Select Add Data and click Import JSON or CSV file. I'm selecting Documents because that's where I've stored my files. Project 3, I'm going to open the resources file. Next, select Import. You should get a prompt informing you that the import has been completed. For Project 3, you'll use the MongoDB shell, which can be seen at the bottom of the UI. We can drag this up. The shell accepts commands like show databases and use database. In Project 3, you're going to be using a selection of different commands in order to query the resources list. For Project 4, you will need to use the connection string, which can be retrieved from the top left-hand corner here. In order for this connection string to work in the lab environment, you may need to substitute localhost with 127.0.0.1. To give you an idea what this might look like, I'm going to go ahead and minimize this and open VS Code. I'm going to open the Project 4 files. As part of Project 4, you're going to set up a configuration for the database connection, and you're going to have a string. So in here, when I'm editing my config.env file, I'm going to use my MongoDB connection string, which I copied from Compass, except I'm going to replace the localhost with 127.0.0.1 / the name of my database. You will also have to rename this file to config.env. One other thing I want to cover quickly before we conclude here, in Project 4, you'll be building out an API that requires an additional VS Code plugin in order for you to submit requests. This plugin is called Thunder Client and can easily be downloaded directly in the VS Code extensions system. Let's do that now. Inside VS Code, click the extensions icon on the left-hand side, and we're going to use search. In the search box, type Thunder Client, which should come up as the first choice. Select Install, and once installed, you should see the Thunder Client icon on the left-hand side. To begin working with Thunder Client, simply click New Request in order to create your API calls. More details are provided in the Project 4 assignment area in the class. Hopefully this quick walkthrough helps you get started with MongoDB for Projects 3 and 4 using the Lab Broker environment. As always, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out.